In this how-to, I'm going to show you how to create a template graphic using the Relativize block. So this is what I'm going to show you how to do. If I've created this VAV template and I want to switch out the device reference so that my graphic is a template, I would just change the value of the Relativize block. Notice on the bottom here how I am changing the device reference from 20102 to 20103, etc. And you can see all of the values of the graphic changing. I'm just going to quickly show you how to do this. So if I just start on a new page, let's say we have if I start on a new page, and let's say I have my VAV in the middle here, and I have some data points around it. Let's just say here, here, and here. And then of course I want a title up the top, maybe a little bigger than everybody else. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select one of my VAVs. So if I go VAV 20102, I'm going to look for damper position, just drag and drop it down here, formatted 100%. Make sure I add it to the animation of my VAV as well, drag and drop over here, 100, my damper is fully open. If I just go for heating coil control, drag and drop, formatted. And then if let's just go for room temperature or something, room temp, just over here, drag and drop, same story. Okay, so this is what I want my VAV graphic to look like. I'm going to add the title of the name of the device shortly. I'm going to get there. So I'm going to introduce the Relativize block. What I want to do is I want to be able to make everything in this graphic relative to device 20102. So this whole graphic is going to be based off 20102. And then I want to create a button that changes that device reference to 20103 so that it appears like a new graphic is appearing even though it's the same one. So what I want to do on my parent group, in this instance it's the stage, I'm going to go right click data flow, and I'm going to search for the Relativize block. So if I drag and drop this to the right hand side, I have this path option is what you're going to want to pay attention to. So if I drag and drop 20102 onto path and press enter and click the Relativize button, what this is going to do is it is going to list off all the data points inside of my graphic. So your object is your layer. So if I were to have named these a little nicer, it would say, it would give me a nice text layer name. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to select all of these, and what I want to do is I want to make all of these relative to device 20102. So if I go select all, relativize, you can now see that each of these layers are relativized to this device path, and they have this object instance. So if I were to change this to AI15, let's say, you'll be able to see things change. Let's just do a really obvious one here. AI1 changed to AI3, so you can see it change over there. Okay, so I have everything relative to device 20102. If I close this pop-up, If I change my path now to device 20103, you can see everything changing. Oh, device 20101 doesn't actually exist, so it'll just give you nulls. So my next step here is that I actually want a title. I want to see my device name here. So in order to get that, I need to use the get node block. So if I just drag that next to the relativize block and I bind path to path, here is how I get the name of my device. So if I just bind the name to the text up top, whenever I change the device reference here, you can see everything changing. So a quick use case of this is you would have buttons from another page or within this page. Let's just do one of these. And let's just call this device 20101, or 20102, sorry. And if I go add actions, set state, click, what I want this button to do is change all the references to device 20102. So if I go record, go up to my relativize block, and change it to 20102 and press enter, and finish recording, and click 20102, everything changes relative to that device. If I duplicate this by going Control D and change my path to 20103 and change my button label to be 20103, I now have two buttons that change the reference of this VAV so that it appears to be multiple graphics even though it's just one template graphic. Alright, so that is how you create a template graphic using the Relativize block.